Hello everyone. So I am Miss Leona May Cervantes. You can call me Miss Leona, your teacher for General Mathematics. So now let's start. Module 6, Learning Competencies, represent real-life situations using rational functions. Distinguishes rational function, rational equation, and rational inequality. Finds the domain and range of a rational function, represents a rational function through its table of values, graph, and equation, determines the intercepts, zeros, and asymptotes of rational functions, and find the domain and range of a rational function. Rational function, rational expression, it is an expression that can be written as a ratio of two polynomials. So, polynomials, it is the sum and product of a rational numbers of terms, contains a constant variable and variable raised to a positive integral power. So, when we say polynomials, expression must not have negative exponent, fraction exponent, and also the expression must not be inside the radical. Okay? So again, polynomials must not have negative exponent, fraction exponent, and also the expression must not be inside the radical. So automatic, when it is not a polynomial, it is also not a rational expression, since rational expression is a ratio of two polynomials. Next, we have x squared plus 3x plus 2 over x plus 4, rational expression because it is a ratio of two polynomials. X squared plus 3x plus 2 over x plus 4, rational expression. Next, 1 over 3x squared, rational expression because the numerator 1 is a polynomial of degree 0. X squared plus 4x minus 3 over 2, rational expression, which is also a polynomial. Square root of x plus 1 over x cubed minus 1, not a rational expression since the numerator is not a polynomial. So, square root of x plus 1 is not a polynomial because it is inside the radical. Next, 1 over x plus 2 over x minus 2. So, the expression is equal to 1 over x plus 2 times x minus 2. So, it is a rational expression. 5x cubed minus 2x plus 1, rational expression because the expression has a denominator of 1, which is also a polynomial. Next, rational equation. An equation involving a rational equation. So, para mas madali nyong matandaan, equation. So, Kapag nakakita kayo ng equal sign, then parehas naman silang polynomial, so it is rational equation. Next. Next is rational inequality. Rational inequality, an inequality involving rational equations. So, this time naman, rational inequality. Inequality means not equal. So, it can be greater than, less than, or equal, or not equal, sorry. Again, rational inequality, inequality, not equal. So, kapag meron dalawang polynomial, then merong greater than, less than, or not equal, it is rational inequality. Next, rational function. So, a function of the form of f of x equals g of x over h of x, where g of x and h of x are polynomials, and h of x is not a zero function. Next. Again, recall rational equation, equation, equal. Rational inequality, inequality, not equal. Can be greater than, less than, or not equal. Rational function, f of x. As long as g of x and h of x are polynomials. Okay, so now let's try. 2 plus x over x minus 1 equals 8. Is it rational equation, rational inequality, rational function, or none? Okay, correct answer, rational equation. 2 plus x over x minus 1 equals 8 is rational equation. Next. X is greater than square root of x plus 2. X greater than square root of x plus 2. Is it rational equation, rational inequality, rational function, or none? Okay, correct answer, none, because square root of x plus 2 is inside the radical. So, square root of x plus 2 is not a polynomial, therefore it is not a rational expression. Okay? Next. Two x is greater than or equal to 7 over x plus 4. Is it rational equation, rational inequality, rational function, or none? Okay, correct answer, rational inequality. Next, we have f of x is equal to 6 minus x plus 3 over x minus 3. Is it rational equation, rational inequality, rational function, or none? Okay, correct answer, rational function. Next, we have x over 2 equals 4 over 9x cubed. Is it rational equation, rational inequality, rational function, or none? Okay, correct answer, rational equation. So now let's proceed to graphing rational function. First, let's recall domain. So domain of the function is the set of all x values that the variable x can take. Then the range of the function is the set of all x values that f of x will take. Zeros of a function are the values of x which make the function 0. Intercepts are x or y intercepts crosses the x or y axis. So y-intercept is the y-coordinate of the point where the graph crosses the y-axis. X-intercept is the x-coordinate of the point where the graph crosses the x-axis. Next, asymptote. Asymptote is a straight line associated with a curve such that as a point in moves along an infinite branch of the curve, the distance from the point to the line approaches 0, and the slope of the curve at the point approaches the slope of the line. Vertical asymptote They are the restriction on the x values of a reduced rational function. To find the restrictions, equate the denominator to 0 and solve for x. Next, horizontal asymptote. Let n be the degree of the numerator and m be the degree of the denominator. So if n is less than m, then y is equal to 0. If n is equal to m, then y is equal to a over b, where a is the leading coefficient of the numerator and b is the leading coefficient of the denominator. If n is greater than m, there is no horizontal asymptote. Next, so graphing rational function. Example number 1, f of x is equal to 1 over x minus 2. So determine the vertical asymptotes of the given rational function using its denominator. Express the denominator by 0 and solve for x. The determined value indicates the location of vertical asymptotes. So again, step 1, denominator. So denominator is x minus 2. Then equate to 0. So we have x minus 2 equals 0. Then x is equal to positive 2. Okay, so for example number 1, our vertical asymptote is x equals 2. Okay. Again, vertical asymptote. Kukunin lang natin yung denominator. Then, i-equate sa 0. Okay. Kunin ang denominator. Since ang denominator natin is x minus 2. Then, equate lang natin sa 0 yung x minus 2. Kaya naging x minus 2 equals 0. Then, nakuha na natin yung x, which is positive 2. So, vertical asymptote natin for example number 1 is x equals positive 2. Next, step 2. So, step 2, assign the values for x, minimum of 5, and the vertical asymptotes must be in the center. Then, for y, using the given function. So, our given function is f of x equals 1 over x minus 2. Then, minimum of 5. Then, vertical asymptote must be in the center. Again, what was our vertical asymptote? X is equal to positive 2. So, we will write positive 2 at the center. Okay. Then, minimum of 5. So, we will use 0, 1, 2 at the center, 3, and 4. Okay. Again, gagamitin natin yung vertical asymptote na nakuha natin, which is x is equal to 2, positive 2. Then, minimum daw ng 5. So, gagamitin natin is 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Then, isa-substitute lang natin dito sa function natin na 1 over x minus 2. So, unahin natin yung 0. So, we have 1 over 0 minus 2. So, 1 over 0 minus 2, negative 2. Okay? Then, 1, 0, y is equal to negative 1 half. 1 over negative 2 or negative 1 half. Okay? Next, let's use positive 1. So we have 1 over 1 minus 2. Okay? So, 1 over 1 minus 2, negative 1. So, 1 over negative 1 or 1 divided by negative 1 is equal to negative 1. So, y is equal to negative 1. Next, let's use positive 2. So, 1 over positive 2 minus positive 2. So, we have 1 over 1 over then 2 minus 2, 0. So, kung nare-recall nyo pa, 1 over 0 or over 0, undefined. Okay? Next, 1 over 3 minus 2. So, 1 over 3 minus 2 is 1. So, 1 over 1 or 1 divided by 1 is 1. Okay? So, y is equal to positive 1. Next, last one, 1 over 4 minus 2. So, 1 over 4 minus 2, positive 2. So, we have 1 over 2 or positive 1 half. So, y is equal to positive 1 half. Okay? Next. Next. Step 3. Graph the rational function. So, we will use this table for graphing the rational function. We have 0 and negative 1 half. 0 and negative 1 half. Then, 1 and negative 1. 1 and negative 1. Then, yung vertical asymptote natin, which is positive 2. Next, 3 and positive 1. Then, 4 and positive 1 half. So, So we have 4 and positive 1/2. Okay? Next, let's proceed to vertical, horizontal, and oblique asymptotes. So, theorem on vertical asymptote, if the real number a is 0 of the denominator q of x, then the graph f of x is equal to p of x over q of x, where p of x and q of x have no common factors, has vertical asymptotes x is equal to a. Next, theorem on horizontal asymptote, let f of x equals a sub n times x raised to n plus a sub n minus 1 times x raised to n minus 1 plus a sub 1 times x plus a sub 0 all over p sub m times x raised to m plus b sub m minus 1 times x raised to m minus 1 plus b sub 1 times x plus b sub 0, b a rational function with a numerator of degree n and denominator of degree m. So if n is less than m, then horizontal asymptote is at y is equal to 0. If n is equal to m, then horizontal asymptote is at y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. Again, if n is if n is less than m, y is equal to 0. If n is equal to m, then horizontal asymptote is at y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. If n is greater than m, then the graph of the function has no horizontal asymptote. Okay? So, kailangan matandaan nyo itong tatlong to. Again, if n is equal, if paki-note nyo na or screenshot, print screen. Again, if n is less than m, the horizontal asymptote is at y is equal to 0. If n is equal to m, then horizontal asymptote is at y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. If n is greater than m, the graph of a function has no horizontal asymptote. Next. Oblique asymptote, also known as diagonal or slant asymptote. The line y is equal to mx plus b is an oblique asymptote for the graph of rational function. So, finding oblique asymptote, a given rational function will either have only one oblique asymptote or no oblique asymptote. So, if a rational function has a horizontal asymptote, it will not have an oblique asymptote. Oblique asymptotes only occur when the numerator of f of x has a degree that is 1 higher than the degree of the denominator. So, when you have this equation, simply divide the numerator by the denominator using polynomials long division or synthetic division. So, the quotient set equal to y will be the oblique asymptote. Note that the remainder is ignored. Okay? So again, vertical asymptote, denominator equate to 0, horizontal asymptote, if n is less than m, y is equal to 0, if n is equal to m, y is equal to a sub n over p sub n. If n is greater than m, no horizontal asymptote. Okay? Then, oblique asymptote, magkakaroon lang tayo ng oblique asymptote kapag walang horizontal asymptote. So, kailan nga lang ulit mawawalan ng horizontal asymptote? If n is greater than m. Okay? So, ano nga ulit yung n and m? N, highest degree ng numerator. Okay, highest degree or highest exponent ng numerator. M, then M, highest degree ng denominator. Okay? N, highest degree ng numerator. M, highest degree ng denominator. Next. So, what if merong oblique asymptote? Ang gagawin lang natin is i-divide yung numerator by the denominator. So, kung nare-recall nyo pa, you can use long division or synthetic division. Okay? Then, ignore lang yung remainder. Next. So, example, find the vertical, horizontal, and oblique asymptotes of the following functions. So, given f of x is equal to 4x squared plus 1 over 3x squared. So, for vertical asymptote, equate the denominator and solve for x. So, denominator is 3x squared. Okay. Then, equate to 0. So, we have 3x squared equals 0. Then, para makuha natin yung x, divide both sides by 3. So, we have x squared equals 0. Then, squared both sides. So, we have x is equal to 0. Okay? Again, for vertical asymptote, kukunin lang natin yung denominator. Then, equate to 0. So, yan na yung x natin. X is equal to 0. Yun na yung vertical asymptote natin. Vertical asymptote, x is equal to 0. Next, for horizontal asymptote, determine the highest exponent of the numerator, n, and the denominator, m. Then, compare and find result from the theorem. So, given is f of x is equal to 4x squared plus 1 over 3x squared. So, highest exponent ng numerator is 2. Then, highest exponent ng denominator is also 2. Therefore, n, highest exponent n, highest exponent ng numerator n is equal to 2. And highest exponent ng denominator, m is equal to 2. Since n and m, 2 is equal to 2, therefore n is equal to m. Therefore, horizontal asymptote is at y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. So, saan galing tong y equals a sub n over b sub n? Galing siya dun sa theorem. So, again, if n is less than m, y is equal to 0. If n is equal to m, then y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. If n is greater than m, there is no horizontal asymptote. So this time, n is equal to m. Therefore, horizontal asymptote is at y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. Determine the coefficient of the variable with the highest exponent in both numerator and denominator. So, the coefficient of the numerator be a sub n, and for denominator be b sub n. So, a sub n is equal to 4, and b sub n is equal to 3. Therefore, y is equal to 4 over 3. Okay, so saan galing si a sub n equals 4? Saan galing si b sub n equals 3? Balik tayo dun sa given equation. We have f of x is equal to 4x squared plus 1 over 3x squared. So, highest exponent ng numerator is 2. So, ano yung coefficient niya? Yung kasama niyang number. 4. Numerator, 4. Denominator, kasama niya or coefficient niya is 3. Positive 3. So, a sub n is equal to 4. Then, b sub n is equal to 3. Again, a sub n is equal to 4. B sub n is equal to 3. Okay? Then, based sa formula natin, y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. So, magiging 4 over 3. Then, kung kaya pang i-simplify, yung, for example, ang given is, or ang coefficient is 4 over a sub n is equal to 4, then b sub n is equal to 2. Okay? So, magiging 4 over 2. So, kaya pa siyang i-simplify. 4 divided by 2 is 2. So, magiging y is equal to positive 2. Okay? Kung kaya pang i-simplify, isi-simplify natin. This time, y is equal to 4 over 3. So, hindi na natin siya masisimplify. So, next. So, this time, our horizontal asymptote is y equals 4 over 3. For oblique asymptote, since there is a horizontal asymptote in the given, then there is no oblique asymptote. No oblique asymptote. Again, for this given, f of x is equal to 4x squared plus 1 over 3x squared. Vertical asymptote, x is equal to 0. Horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 4 over 3. Then, oblique asymptote, none. Okay? Next. Okay, so we have f of x is equal to 4 over x minus 7. So, vertical asymptote, denominator, equate to 0. So we have x minus 7 equals 0. Then x is equal to positive 7. Vertical asymptote, x is equal to 7. Then for horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator, 0. Highest exponent ng denominator is 1. So 0 is less than 1. Therefore, n is less than m. So basic theorem, if n is less than m, y is equal to 0. So horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. Since we have horizontal asymptote, which is y is equal to 0, so oblique asymptote, none. Okay? Again, vertical asymptote, kukunin lang yung denominator, equate to 0. So we have x minus 7 equals 0. Therefore, x is equal to 7, positive 7. Yun na yung vertical asymptote natin. X equals 7. Horizontal asymptote, titingnan lang natin yung exponent, yung highest exponent. So, numerator, highest exponent niya is 0. Highest exponent ng denominator is 1. So, we have 0 is less than 1. Mas maliit yung 0, so 1. Therefore, n is less than m. So, based sa theorem, check nyo lagi yung theorem or kung kayang tandaan, tandaan. And kung hindi naman, ay pwede nyo i-check. So, horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. If n is less than m, y is equal to 0. Horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. Oblique asymptote, since meron nga ulit tayong horizontal asymptote, oblique asymptote, none. Okay, next. Okay, so f of x is equal to x over x squared minus x minus 6. So, denominator, is x squared minus x minus 6. So, factor muna natin si denominator. So, pag finactor natin si x squared minus x minus 6, makukuha natin yung x plus 2 times x minus 3. Okay, saan ulit galing si x plus 2 times x minus 3? Siya yung factor ng x squared minus x minus 6. Then, kunin na natin or equate na natin sa 0. So, we have x plus 2 equals 0. Then, x is equal to negative 2. Okay? Then, x minus 3 naman. So, x minus 3 equals 0. Then, x is equal to 3. Okay? So, vertical asymptote, makakaroon tayo ng dalawang x. So, we have x sub 1 equals negative 2 and x sub 2 equals 3. Okay? Again, vertical asymptote, x sub 1 equals negative 2 and x sub 2 is equal positive 3. Next, horizontal asymptote. So, for horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator is 1, highest exponent ng denominator is positive 2. So, 1 is less than 2, therefore, n is less than m. Okay? Since n is less than m, then y is equal to 0. So, horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. Okay? Next, since we have a horizontal asymptote, then we don't have oblique asymptote. So, oblique asymptote, none. Okay? So, again, vertical asymptote, denominator, then factor. So, we have x plus 2 times x minus 3. Then, equate to 0. X plus 2 equals 0. So, x equals negative 2. Then, x minus 3. X minus 3 equals 0. Then, x is equal to 3. Vertical asymptote, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang x. Our vertical asymptote, which is x sub 1 equals negative 2. And x sub 2 equals positive 3. Then, horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. Since highest exponent ng numerator is 1, highest exponent naman ng denominator is 2. So, 1 is less than 2, therefore n is less than m. Then, i-check sa theorem or tandaan, i-memorize yung theorem. If n is less than m, y is equal to 0. Oblique asymptote, none. Okay? Next. So, D, f of x is equal to 8x squared minus 3x plus 1 over x minus 2. So, vertical asymptote, x is equal to 2. Again, for vertical asymptote, x minus 2 equate to 0. So, we have x minus 2 equals 0. Therefore, x is equal to positive 2. Again, vertical asymptote, x is equal to positive 2. Next, for horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator is positive 2. Highest exponent ng denominator is 1. So, 2 is greater than 1. Therefore, n is greater than m. Okay? If n is greater than m, so we don't have horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote, none. Then, if we don't have horizontal asymptote, then we will have a oblique asymptote. An oblique asymptote. So, for oblique asymptote, we will divide the numerator to our denominator, which is x minus 2. So, 8x squared minus 3x plus 1 divided by x minus 2. So, now we will use long division. So, first, 8x squared minus 3x plus 1 divided by x minus 2. So, 8x squared divided by x. So, we have 8x. Then, 8x times x, 8x squared, 8x times negative 2, negative 16x. Okay. Then 8x squared minus 8x squared, 0. So, hindi na siya nilagay. Next, negative 3x minus 16x. So, negative, negative, magiging positive or magiging addition. Then, magiging negative 3x plus 16. So, negative 3 plus 16 equals 13x. Okay? Next, 13x, then bring down yung plus 1. So, 13x divided by x, positive 13. Then, positive 13 times x, 13x. Positive 13 times negative 2, negative 26. Okay? Then, positive 1. Sorry, so 13x minus 13x, 0 na. Then, positive 1 naman. Positive 1 minus negative 26. So, again, negative, negative, magiging positive. So, positive 1 plus positive 26 equals positive 27. So, for oblique asymptote, ignore lang natin daw yung remainder na 27. So, correct answer lang for oblique is 8x plus 13. Okay? Therefore, oblique asymptote, y is equal to 8x plus 13. Okay? Again, vertical asymptote, x minus 2, denominator, equate to 0. So, x minus 2 equals 0. X is equal to 2. So, vertical asymptote, x is equal to 2. Horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator, 2. Highest exponent ng denominator, 1. So, we have 2 is less than 1. Therefore, n is less than m. So, horizontal asymptote, none. Okay? So, magkakaroon tayo ng oblique asymptote since wala tayong horizontal asymptote. Then, oblique asymptote, gagamitin lang natin yung long division. Divide numerator to denominator. 8x squared minus 3x plus 1 divided by x minus 2. So, 8x divided by 8x squared, 8x squared divided by x, 8x, 8x times x, 8x squared, 8x times negative 2, negative 16x. So, 8x squared minus 8x squared, 0, 3x minus 16x, positive 13x, then positive 13x. Sorry, then bring down pala yung positive 1, then negative or positive 13x times divided by x, positive 13, then positive 13 times x, 13x, positive 13 times negative 2, negative 26, then 13x minus 13x, 0, positive 1, minus negative 26, positive 27. Therefore, oblique asymptote, y is equal to 8x plus 13. Okay? So now, get your notebook or scratch paper. Then try answering these functions. So So, number 1, given is f of x equals 3 over x minus 5. Again, number 1, f of x equals 3 over x minus 5. Vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote, and oblique asymptote. Okay, start. Or you can pause this video. Then continue when you're done. Okay, next. Number 2, f of x is equal to 3x minus 2 over x. Again, number 2, f of x equals 3x minus 2 over x. Find vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote, and oblique asymptote. Okay, next number 3. So number 3, f of x is equal to 6 over x squared minus 4. Again, f of x equals 6 over x squared minus 4. Find vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote, and oblique asymptote. Next, number 4, f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 6 over x minus 4. Again, number 4, f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 6 over x minus 4. Find vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote, and oblique asymptote. So next number, last number 5. Number 5, f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 6 over x squared minus 9. Again, number 5, f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 6 over x squared minus 9. Find vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote, and oblique asymptote. Okay, now let's check. So for number 1, f of x is equal to 3 over x minus 5. Then denominator, x minus 5 equals 0. So x is equal to 5. Vertical asymptote, x equals 5. Next, horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator is 1. Highest exponent ng numerator is 0. Highest exponent ng denominator is 1. Okay? So 0 is less than 1. Therefore, n is less than m. Again, if n is less than m, then y is equal to 0. Next, since we have horizontal asymptote, then we don't have oblique asymptote. Again, vertical asymptote, x is equal to 5. Horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. Oblique asymptote, none. Okay? 1 point vertical asymptote, 1 point horizontal asymptote, and 1 point oblique asymptote. Next number. Number 2, f of x is equal to 3x minus 2 over x. Vertical asymptote, x is equal to 0. So, vertical asymptote, x is equal to 0. Horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator, 1. Highest exponent ng denominator, also 1. So, 1 is equal to 1. Therefore, n is equal to m. Horizontal asymptote. Again, sorry. So, if n is equal to m, therefore, y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. Then, coefficient ng numerator is 3. Coefficient ng denominator is 1. Okay? So, 3, a sub n is equal to 3, b sub n is equal to 1, 3 over 1, or 3. Therefore, horizontal asymptote is y equals 3. Oblique asymptote, none. Okay, again, denominator x equate to 0. Vertical asymptote, x equals 0. Horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator is 1. Highest exponent ng denominator is also 1. So 1 equals 1. Therefore, n is equal to m. Then, y, if n is equal to m, y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. Coefficient ng numerator is 3. Coefficient ng denominator is 1. So, a sub n equals 3. B sub n equals 1. So, 3 over 1 or 3. Horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 3. Oblique asymptote, since meron tayong horizontal asymptote, oblique asymptote, none. Okay? Next. Next, number 3, f of x is equal to 6 over x squared minus 4. So, denominator, x squared minus 4. Then, factor, square, x plus 2 times x minus 2. So, x plus 2 equals 0. Then, x equals negative 2. Next, x minus 2 equals 0. So, x is equal to positive 2. Vertical asymptote, x sub 1 equals negative 2 and x sub 2 equals positive 2. Okay? Again, denominator natin is x squared minus 4. So, finactor muna natin siya. Kaya siya naging x plus 2 times x minus 2. Then, equate to 0. X plus 2 equals 0. X is equal to negative 2. X minus 2 equals 0. Then, x is equal to positive 2. So, vertical asymptote, meron tayong dalawang x. So, x sub 1 equals negative 2 and x sub 2 equals positive 2. Horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator, 0. Highest exponent ng denominator, 2. So, 0 is less than 2. Therefore, n is less than m. So, if n is less than m, y is equal to 0. Oblique asymptote, none. Since meron tayong horizontal asymptote. So, again, vertical asymptote, x sub 1 equals negative 2 and x sub 2 equals 2. Horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. Okay? Then, oblique asymptote, of course, none. Again, 1 point vertical asymptote, 1 point horizontal asymptote, and 1 point oblique asymptote. Next. Number 4, f of x is equal to true. F of x equals 2x squared minus 4x plus 6 over x minus 4. So, vertical asymptote. Denominator, x minus 4, equate to 0. So, x minus 4 equals 0. X is equal to 0. Sorry, meron tayong typo. Okay, again, number 4. F of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 6 over x minus 4. Vertical asymptote. So, denominator. Denominator, x minus 4. So, x minus 4 equals 0. Then, x is equal to 4. Vertical asymptote, x is equal to 4. Horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator, 2. Highest exponent ng denominator, 1. So 2 is greater than 1. Therefore, n is greater than m. Okay? 2 is greater than 1. Therefore, n is greater than m. So, if n is... Oh, sorry, baliktad. If n is greater than m, so horizontal asymptote, none. Then, magkakaroon tayo ng oblique asymptote. So, para makuha yung oblique asymptote, di-divide natin yung numerator sa denominator. So, numerator is 2x squared minus 4x plus 6 divided by x minus 4. So, 2x squared divided by x minus 4. So, 2x. Then, 2x times x. 2x times x. 2x squared. 2x times negative 4. Negative 8x. Then, 2x minus 2x, 0. Sorry, again, 2x squared minus 2x squared, 0. Negative 4x minus 8x, so minus. Then, negative yung 8. So, magiging addition. So, magiging negative 4x minus, negative 4x plus positive 8x. So, we have 4x. Then, bring down plus 6. So, we have 4x plus 6. 4x divided by x. Positive 4. Next, 4 times x. 4x. Okay, so 4 times x, 4x. 4 times negative 4. Negative 16. So, 4x minus 4x, 0. Positive 6 minus negative 16. Negative, negative, magiging positive. So, magiging addition. Positive 6 plus 16. Positive 22. Then, sa oblique asymptote natin, disregard lang or ignore yung remainder. So, for our oblique asymptote, y is equal to 2x plus 4. Okay? Next. Again, vertical for number 4, f of x is equal to 2x squared minus 4x plus 6 over x minus 4. Vertical asymptote, x is equal to 4. Horizontal asymptote, none. Oblique asymptote, y is equal to 2x plus 4. Okay? 1 point for vertical asymptote, 1 point for horizontal asymptote, and 1 point for oblique asymptote. Next, number 5. So, number 5, f of x is equal to 3x squared minus 6 over x squared minus 9. So, denominator is x squared minus 9. Okay? Then, factor muna natin siya. X squared minus 9. So, magiging x plus 3 times x minus 3. So, x plus 3 equals 0. Then, x is equal to negative 3. X minus 3. So, x minus 3 equals 0. Then, x is equal to 3. Then, vertical asymptote, magkakaroon tayo ng dalawang x. X of 1 is equal to negative 3 and x of 2 is equal to positive 3. Next, for horizontal asymptote, highest exponent ng numerator, positive 2. Highest exponent ng denominator, positive 2. So, we have 2 for numerator, then 2 for denominator. So, 2 is equal to 2. Therefore, n is equal to m. Okay? If n is equal to m, y is equal to a sub n over b sub n. So, a sub n, coefficient ng numerator, 3. Coefficient ng denominator, 1. So, we have 3 over 1. Simplify. 3 over 1 or 3 divided by 1, y is equal to 3. Okay? Oblique asymptote, since meron tayong horizontal asymptote, then oblique asymptote, none. Okay? Again, number 5, vertical asymptote, denominator, x squared minus 9. Factor muna natin siya. Magiging x plus 3 times x minus 3. Then, equate lang sa 0. X plus 3 equals 0. X is equal to negative 3. X minus 3 equals 0. X equals positive 3. Next, vertical asymptote. So, x sub 1 equals negative 3 and x sub 2 equals positive 3. Horizontal asymptote, highest exponent 2. Highest exponent ng denominator is also 2. So, 2 equals 2. Therefore, n is equal to m. If n is equal to m, y equals a sub n over b sub n. Then, coefficient ng numerator, 3. Coefficient ng denominator, 1. So, we have 3 over 1. 3 over 1 or 3 divided by 1, simplify. Y is equal to 3. Oblique asymptote, since meron tayo horizontal asymptote, oblique asymptote, none. Okay? Again, 1 point for vertical asymptote, horizontal asymptote, 1 point, and another 1 point for oblique asymptote. So, check your answers. Again, number 1, vertical asymptote, x is equal to 5. Horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. Oblique asymptote, none. Number 2, vertical asymptote, x is equal to 0. Horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 3. Oblique asymptote, none. Number 3, vertical asymptote, x sub 1 is equal to negative 2 and x sub 2 is equal to 2. Horizontal asymptote, y is equal to 0. Oblique asymptote, none. Number 4, vertical asymptote, x is equal to 4. Horizontal asymptote, none. Oblique asymptote, y is equal to 2x plus 4. Okay? Number 5, vertical asymptote, x sub 1 equals negative 3 and x sub 2 equals positive 3. Horizontal asymptote, y equals a sub n over b sub n. Again, horizontal asymptote, sorry, y is equal to positive 3. Then, oblique asymptote, none. Okay? So, 1 point each over 15. Then, paki-comment yung scores dun sa link na ipopost ko. Okay? Then, for your quiz, pakibasang mabuti yung instruction. Okay? Then, kapag mali, automatic mali na agad. Okay? So, for your quiz, again, for example, none. So, ang ilalagay nyo lang, for example, oblique asymptote. Correct answer, none. So, hindi nyo na ilalagay oblique asymptote, none. Okay? Ang ilalagay lang, none. Small letter, walang space. None. N-O-N-E, walang space. Then, for example naman, y is equal to 3. So, hindi nyo nalalagyan ng horizontal asymptote. Y is equal to a sub n over b sub n equals 3 over 1. Y is equal to 3. So, ang inalagay na lang is y equals 3. Okay? Walang space. Ulitin ko. Y equals 3. Ganun lang. Okay? Then, for vertical asymptote naman, for example, merong dalawang vertical asymptote or x. So, ang ilalagay is x 1 equals negative 3. Then, yung vertical bar, kung may laptop or kung may cellphone or kung may special character sa cellphone nyo, yung vertical bar, lagyan ng vertical bar. Then, x2 equals positive 3. Okay? So, if ever walang vertical bar dun sa cellphone nyo or sa keyboard, then, ang ilagay lang is x1 equals negative 3 L, small letter L. Okay? Again, x1 equals negative 3 vertical bar. x2 equals positive 3. Okay? Or, kung walang vertical bar, ulitin ko, x1 equals negative 3 small letter L. x2 equals positive 3. Okay? So, yun lang yung sagot na tatanggapin ni MS Forms. Hindi tayo magkakaroon ngayon na maraming reconsideration. Okay? Basahin mabuti ang instruction, sundin ang instruction. Okay? Avoid space, using space. Okay? Then, basahin mo ng mabuti ang instruction. Kung mali ay mali. Okay? Matutong sumunod sa instruction. Then, kung medyo mahina yung internet connection or nakadata lang at medyo mabagal, then wag nyo munang i-try yung activity. Okay? Kasi baka bigla siyang masubmit, then hindi nyo na masasagutan. Hindi kayo magkakaroon ng points for task 3. Okay? So, good luck. Again, paki-comment yung scores nyo dito sa 1 to 5 over 15. Okay? Dun sa link na isusend ko. Paki-reply. Okay? Thank you. Thank you for everyone. And good luck.